Good morning, everybody. How are you guys doing? Happy Saturday. It's 11:02, a couple of minutes late. I apologize. It was a little busy in my house this morning. We went to the farmer's market first, and then, excuse me, and then my husband has his buddies over for his jiu-jitsu thing that they do in the basement, and then my girls have their individual plans with their individual friends. So it was a little crazy. That's why I'm a couple minutes late. However, I'm here to answer all of your wonderful questions that came in during the past week. I just go live on my Instagram just to make sure that my followers on Instagram who signed up for this workshop also get this. Hello, Instagram. How are you guys doing this morning? It is the first bonus session of this 5-day masterclass series. So we are done with the core teachings and we are now moving into the bonus sessions. I'm super excited for these. It's all about you. Hey, Daniela, good morning. It's all about you. So you can ask me your questions that you have, all of the information. I know it was a lot of information that I shared over the past 5 days. Might have been a little bit overwhelming or maybe, sparked some more interest in finding out specific things. And that is why I'm offering you these bonus sessions. So bonus session today is the Q&A. So I have printed quite a number of questions that came in for me to answer, you guys. And questions about the days, questions about the material and the information that I shared, and also questions about my coaching program that I'm actually opening up 5 spots for come July. So I will be first going through the class questions that come up, and then I'll be answering some more of my coaching program questions that also came up. Before I do that, also to let you guys know, tomorrow is bonus day 2, bonus session 2, which will be the very last session of this workshop. Tomorrow is going to be a Zoom call. It's going to be a closed door Zoom call, and I will be revealing 5 therapeutic foods that I always recommend and always talk about and give out and hand out to people that I work with that are really, really powerful. So 5 of them. So 5 therapeutic foods tomorrow in the Zoom session. If you want a spot, hop on the Zoom link that I'll be sharing in my email and in the group to be part of it. I will also open up tomorrow's Zoom session for a couple of 10-minute hot seat coaching sessions. So if you are somebody who has this one burning question about your own personal health or something that you've always wanted to know, then I invite you to come into that Zoom group tomorrow, because I will be picking a few of you guys and we can have a 10-minute specific discussion around your specific question or issue that you would like me to teach you around or coach you around. So 10-minute coaching sessions, hot seat coaching sessions tomorrow. Okay, super exciting. But today we are going to do the Q&A. So lots of questions came in. I will be answering them in a minute. Before I do that, I actually put all the names in here of those wonderful ladies who actually did the work during the 5 days and who actually put in or posted their intro to the group of who they are, what they're struggling with, what their favorite food is, all the good stuff. And so those ladies' names are all in this jar, and I will be pulling the winning name today. Right now, I'm going to be doing it. Okay, so I'm going to be reaching in. I'm going to be swirling it around a little bit more, and I'm going to be just getting one out of there. There we go. Let's see who it is. Let's see. I have one. Yes, that's one. One here. And the price is $50 Amazon card or a $50 Whole Foods card. And the winner is Dana. Dana is the winner. So congratulations, Dana, for posting your intro into the group during this workshop. I remember your post. It was a very touching story. And yeah, you are the lucky winner. So congratulations, Dana. I will be in touch to, yes, a round of applause for Dana to get you the reach out to get you the $50 Amazon card or the Whole Foods card. It's up to you. It's your choice. Okay. So let's get started with the questions. Okay. So there were a lot of questions that came in, and I kind of like pulled in the ones that repeated themselves and, that came up over and over again. Right. So number one questions. And again, if you have any more questions, put them in the comments or, let me know in the comments what you think. Number one question is, what are the top 3 signs that your gut is out of balance? That is a really good question, right? Because we've been talking a lot about gut health. We've been talking a lot about leaky gut and all of it. And, there's a lot of symptoms that show when we're dealing with leaky gut. But what are the top 3 signs that your body shows you that your gut is out of balance? So to narrow it down, because there's a lot, but to narrow it down to the most common ones that I see happening over and over again, number 1 is your bowels, your bowel movements. That is a top sign that your gut is out of balance, your microbiome. You need to be able to go to the bathroom on a regular basis. What does that mean? What does being regular mean? Being regular means that you go daily, at least once a day, possibly twice. And it also means, and a lot of people forget about that, is that you should have the feeling that you are emptying your bowels fully, which means that your stool moves out of your system without you having to strain, without you having to sit on the toilet for hours and try to get it out, without having the feeling as if something is still stuck inside. It has to be a really good consistency, nice and smooth and long, and it just has to flop out. I know it's maybe a little bit much information, but this is what it is. So this is a really good sign. If you don't have that, that is a sign that your gut is out of balance at whatever level that might be. Number 2 is bloating. Bloating is a telltale sign that your gut is definitely out of balance. Definitely out of balance. Whatever bloating you experience, and I'm not talking about bloating that happens every once in a while. You might have a stomach bug, or after eating out, I get bloating too because the foods were not the best quality. That is totally fine. But if you experience bloating on a regular basis, in a certain pattern, either down below in the lower section of your abdomen, or even the higher section of your digestive system into the stomach area, then your gut is definitely out of balance and needs some help. And the third sign that your gut is out of balance is reacting to foods. If you are reacting to foods, and I'm not talking about allergies, I'm talking about food sensitivities. If you have reactions to food, then that is also a good sign that your gut is out of balance to some degree. What has been the biggest thing that you have changed in your own life that has benefited you? So that is a really difficult question. I get that a lot to answer because it has changed over the years. And it all depends on what level of health and where you are at in your health journey. Because if you are at the very beginning of your health journey and your gut is really, really in a bad position and your inflammation is really, really high, then I would say it's definitely the food and the way you eat. So we talked about that a lot, the whole foods and creating a really solid, nutrition base so that you give your body the nutrients that it needs. Absolutely. But if you have been doing that and you're still experiencing symptoms and you still not feeling your best, and you're still having the brain fog and all of that, then what I do then is basically what I talked about yesterday. I then pull in the other areas, and those areas, and that is how I develop that framework. Is those three pillars are really the biggest things you'll have to look at when you are starting to really want to achieve that optimal, long-lasting health, depending on where you are at in your journey. So in the beginning, absolutely. 5 years ago when I started, or 10 years ago when I started, I did look at my food first, and it brought me the biggest, benefit of it. But then later on, as I wasn't seeing the results that I wanted, I definitely had to go into supporting my liver a lot, my detoxification pathways, and absolutely stress management. Stress management is really the overlaying thing that we always have to address. So these three things I would say: whole foods, and then detoxification, and then stress management, right? So how do you keep consistent? How do you keep consistent? It's very difficult for people. They are very motivated when they are going through trainings like this, or challenges, or for some it's they have a moment where they have an aha moment and say, okay, now it's time for me to get my health back on track, and they're being motivated in the moment, and they're going to be starting to do the work. But then it gets tough, and then you hit some roadblocks, and then you can't seem to be moving forward. So how do you keep consistent when that happens? It's a really good question, because we all hit that, right? So for me personally, and what I see is the best thing to move through this is to really isolate one goal. Oftentimes we're getting hung up on the big picture, and we only see the end state of things where we want to be. And we are here and we want to get there. And we forget that we have to take those little steps into the right direction. And so when we are getting into that state of overwhelm and not knowing what to do next, and just seeing that we're not where we want to be yet, how do we keep consistent? In just looking at the next best step. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Frozen, the movie Frozen 2. I love that one scene where Anna, she believes that she lost her sister and everything. Her whole world is falling apart on her, and she's really depressed, and she's really sad, and she doesn't know how to move on forward from here on forward. And then that song that she then sings is just do the next best thing. And this is really what you have to do. You have to break it down. You have to just break it down to one goal. Let's say, right? Okay, tomorrow I want to hydrate more. I really need to hydrate more to get my bowels moving. So focus on that. Isolate that goal, focus on it, and then keep doing it. And that way you will step out of the overwhelm a little bit easier. Okay? So another question was, any tips on how to be successful with elimination diets? Well, I think by now you guys know my where I'm coming from in terms of elimination diets, even though I do suggest some eliminating foods. And the way I do it, the way I would suggest to be successful with elimination diets is to forget what mainstream media tells you, to forget to start to categorize foods into bad and good. So number one, don't categorize foods. It's never the food, it's your gut. And knowing that is to pay close attention to what's happening in your body. That might be really helpful if you have, let's say, a food journal that you can jot information in, and take note without stressing over it. Take note of how your body feels when you eat certain foods. Write down the symptoms that you're experiencing, and that'll, over time, you will find a pattern. Over time, you will see patterns of which foods are actually you're not able to digest at this point. And being successful in an elimination diet means that you are removing these foods in order to create an environment where you can then repair and restore what needs to be repaired and restored, your gut lining and your microbiome and all that good stuff, right? So not to trigger inflammation more and more and more. Does that make sense? Okay, so my successful tip would be with elimination to eliminate the foods that you believe you feel you are reacting to, and then doing the work. What if you have eliminated gluten, lactose products, and processed food, but you're missing out on nutrition? How would I know? So the easiest way, of course, to know is to get tested. So you can get either, a mineral test done or a vitamin test done with your naturopathic doctors or functional medicine practitioners, or you can get a hair mineral analysis done that really lists, really get you a good overview of where your nutrients are at. I would always recommend a test like that over a food sensitivity test, because it'll give you the feeling that you can actually do something if you find that you are low on certain kind of vitamins or minerals that show in those tests. It gives you action steps you can take. You can then either use food, right, or maybe supplementation in order to get those nutrients levels to where they need to be, rather than food sensitivity tests that focus on what are you reacting to, with the notion of, taking this out of your diet. It can be extremely overwhelming. It can also induce a lot of food fear. So I hope that makes sense. That is what I would say. How to best know what nutrition you're missing out on if you have cut out a lot. Another question around the detox was how to detox the liver daily, and what is the most effective way to ensure clear detoxification pathways and support detoxification pathways. Those are really, really big questions. Those are questions that I go through in detail in my coaching program, because I know nobody likes that answer, but it looks different for everybody. It really, truly does. And so, how to detox the liver daily? Well, I can give you some pointers. We talked about that yesterday, actually, in day 5. So maybe you want to go back and revisit that a little bit. The framework. So there's several things. There's foods. There's liver-friendly foods. And I'm not going to go ahead and list all of these foods because this is something that I do in my coaching program. So there's liver-friendly foods you can implement on a daily. There is also some supplementation that you can do on the daily, depending on what your issue is with the liver. If you find, or your detox pathways, and that always goes back to, am I dealing with bacterial overgrowth in my body? Perhaps candida. So there might be some parasite going on, SIBO, whatever it is. It looks different in forms of supplementation that can help you support your liver on a daily. Then absolutely there's lifestyle things, right? So we talked about the dry brushing. We talked about supporting the lymphatic system with lifestyle things, such as understand that the lymph flows from bottom to top. So you need to manually move the lymph by exercise, jumping, trampoline, whatever it is. And then also stress, right? Because as we talked about yesterday a lot, how stress affects internal inflammation. It can really, really increase internal inflammation, which can put a strain on the liver. So just by addressing your stress levels, you are actually detoxing your liver. You're supporting the liver, the mental detox, right? Very, very critical. So I hope that answers your questions. I can't really go into the nitty-gritty and the detail because that is what I do in my coaching program. And this is something that, again, looks different for everybody. But those are just some tips: food, supplements, lifestyle, and stress. There was another question that was great. Oh, is it better to go for organic fruits and vegetables to avoid GMO? Yes, I believe it is. Genetically modified foods are just that. They are genetically modified. So that's a whole different topic for a whole different day. It can add to symptoms of leaky gut in certain ways. It can increase inflammation in your body. So I talked about the Clean 15, Dirty Dozen Clean 15 list that the EWJ puts out. I know that going fully organic is a struggle for all of us. I mean, it's insane that we have to pay more money for food that is naturally grown than something that has been tinkered with in the lab. So, but that is a different topic. So I would love to go organic with everything. However, oftentimes you have to keep in mind that organic food oftentimes travels across a long distance. So if I see in a store that I have local blueberries from a farmer and in season, and right next to it, I see the organic ones from, let's say, South Africa. Hey, good morning. From South Africa, I wouldn't choose the organic one. I would choose the local non-organic one because I can tell you that the local non-organic blueberries have many more nutrients left in them, powerful nutrients in them, than the ones that have traveled halfway across the world. And it's local, it's in season, it's grown in the soil that I am, familiar with. So it is something to consider. However, generally speaking, of course, organic is great, but there are certain fruits and vegetables that don't need to be organic, right? They have been shown in tests over and over again that the level of pesticides are not very critical. So you can easily eat them and your body can handle those very easily. So go to EWJ. Environmental working group and pull out the Clean 15 Dirty Dozen list, and you will be able to pick the ones that should be organic and the ones that are not. I hope that makes sense. So I know that a lot of you guys have Hashimoto's just like me, and there was a question that came up which said, so people are starting to replace foods with supplementation, which is great. So I have selenium, which I was advised to for us with Hashimoto's. But if you cannot get Brazil nuts, which I have not been able to locate around here where I live, is there another substitute? So I know that selenium is one of the critical nutrients that we need to have in our bodies for thyroid, along with others, but selenium is one of them. And so, yes, Brazil nuts are always something you can use to eat. If you don't find Brazil nuts, you find selenium in many other foods as well. So it's not just the Brazil nuts, right? So the selenium that can really help to increase your immunity, right? It takes part in that in an antioxidant activity in your body that defends your body against free radicals. So it's critical to have it in there because it really plays a key role in maintaining a healthy metabolism. However, keep in mind that the minerals are dependent on soil conditions so that the food grew in. So if the soil condition is poor, you might not get the amount of selenium that you think you are when you're eating the Brazil nut, right? So it's always good to diversify and to pull in a lot of other foods that are rich in selenium as well. And so some of them, for example, are specifically liver, again, liver, organ food, eggs, tuna, cod, and other fish, and also sunflower seeds and chia seeds, as well as poultry. But specifically, sunflower seeds, chia seeds, and liver are also high in selenium. So if you can't find Brazil nuts, then you can pull those in. But again, I want to make that point in the diversifying your diet, understanding that it's it's a matter of pulling in those minerals from different types of foods so that you get the amount that you need. Okay. So this is really what I have been asked this time around. Let me see if there. Oh no, there was one more I was going to address. Sorry about that. Um, Two more actually. So what are therapeutic foods? So therapeutic foods are foods that are designed or not designed. The foods that have the capability to add specific nutrition for therapeutic purposes as a form of dietary supplementation. Some therapeutic foods have been shown to have a very powerful effect inside your body in different areas. So therapeutic foods are, specific nutrients that the body needs and during specific times. Which therapeutic means is that if you eat those foods in a higher amount, versus regularly you need to eat them more than others, then you will reap the benefits of those therapeutic needs. So benefits. So if I can give you one example. Actually, tomorrow, if that is one of the reasons why I put tomorrow's session together in the Zoom meeting, is I'm actually going to be talking more in detail about five therapeutic foods that I'm recommending all the time to my clients, right? And if you have the time, hop on tomorrow because this is what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. I'll be going into depth around the therapeutic foods. And the last question that came in, somebody wanted me to reiterate the top five anti-inflammatory foods that I actually talked about. So that is the foods that I talked about were not per se anti-inflammatory. I was talking about immune calming that are really supportive to your immune system, that brings down the inflammation on a regular basis. Those five foods, I can repeat those for you, no problem. So we talked about broccoli. Broccoli is an immune calming food as well as in the right amounts an absolutely therapeutic food. Then we talked about cherry tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes are extremely, extremely high in specific chemical compounds, polyphenols as well, that are super, super anti-inflammatory, immune calming, especially when cooked, right? Keep that in mind. The way you cook and prepare your food makes a huge difference as well sometimes in how your body absorbs it. So broccoli, cherry tomatoes. The third one is green tea. Green tea is just, I have no words. Green tea, there's so much going on with green tea. It would take me another hour to talk about green tea. So green tea is great. Then we have strawberries. The strawberries are little powerhouses, right? And anti-inflammatory as well as immune calming, immune supporting. And the fifth one is grapefruit/oranges. So those are the five that I touched on during my session. And I know that I think it was Alicia, you wanted to know which ones those were. So those are the ones I discussed. You can write that down. So I went through the questions that I have put down that were submitted to me about the topics that we discussed in the past 5 days. Now I'm going to go into the questions around my coaching program that came in, just in case some of you here might be considering, more help and guidance and getting your health back on track with an autoimmune from a holistic nutrition perspective. So I do accept 5 new slots in July. I'm really not opening up any more slots because I don't want to spread myself too thin. I'm giving my 100% with all my clients. So that is why I'm keeping it down to 5, and I'm giving you that opportunity in here first before I take it public on Tuesday. So if this is something you might consider, let me know before Tuesday, because one spot is already gone. So I have 4 left out of the 5. Some of the questions that you have around the program, which I completely understand because you want to know what you invest your money in, is what is it? What is included inside the program? So what is included inside the program? There's a lot that's included inside the program. To let you know, it's a 3-month program. I started 3 months minimum with everybody because we are going through those 3 pillars that I talked extensively yesterday. So what's inside the program? You get every 2 weeks, bi-weekly, we hop on a 1-hour coaching call with you. We're going to go into details as to what the nutrition specific needs with you are. You will get nutrition support in terms of recipe, nutrition plan. You'll get a wellness plan. You get some tasks I want you to complete within the next 2 weeks. You get a food journal. You get the recipes. Even if you need to, you get a grocery guide from me. And then every 2 weeks we meet and we discuss how you're progressing. We always start with the gut, like I said yesterday. We're going to always start with the gut. You're going to get some therapeutic foods prescribed from me. And we're also going to be talking about how can you make this a habit? How can this become a normal for you, a new routine for you, right? So we're going to be pulling in the lifestyle factors. We're going to be talking extensively about sleep because sleep is such a huge issue. And we're going to be talking about stress management. And we're going to be talking about detoxification, whatever that looks like for you. So every 2 weeks, you get, of course, PDFs and worksheets and information and spreadsheets and, like PowerPoint presentations. I do some workshops for my clients from time to time. I did a stretch workshop. I'm going to be doing a fermentation food workshop. So all of these things are included in the 3 months so that you can get from here to there. I'm holding your hand. We're going to go through it step by step together. And I'm available to you Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 by messenger. You are going to be on my practitioner platform. You can send me chats, messages on a daily basis if you get stuck. So this is what you get. You get the support. I can give you one example. One of my clients right now, she has, it's a little bit difficult for her to keep moving forward on her own throughout the 2 weeks because, like I just talked to you guys about consistency, and it's difficult for her to implement. So I said to her, she has all this wonderful food in her fridge. She can't seem to get to herself to prepare these foods. So I said to her, when you have the food in the fridge, and when you get to the moment where you're like frozen and you can't do it, text me and we'll walk you through it. We'll get you to actually prepare and eat that wonderful food that you have in the fridge. So it's a lot of high touch one-on-one support that you're getting from me. And that is what is included really in the program. So another thing is you will also then be left with a wellness plan by the end of it so that you know exactly how, after you achieved certain goals, how to then move on forward by yourself, right? So you'll have all of this information. The next question that I get, how much time is involved? How much because I know everybody's busy and everybody has their lives, and I understand that. And so how much time is involved? Well, it really is up to you, right? The more you invest yourself into this program, the more you will benefit from the program. So the minimum amount of time really that is needed for this program is the 1-hour coaching call with me every other week. right? So that is 6 1-hour coaching calls in a 3-month period. So that is the minimum, because I am going to be meeting with you regularly. However, what happens in between is completely up to you. And it looks different for everybody, and there's no judging. So like I just said to you, the one client of mine, she needs that extra time. She needs to go more slowly, and I give her that time. She is trying hard now to make this new lifestyle a habit, something that is, you know, that she's creating for her future self. And I appreciate that. So it takes a little bit more time, maybe a little bit more back and forth in the chatting and the messaging. I have other clients that are very self-sufficient, that get cracking in the kitchen right away. What they need is they need more recipes, they need more specific information on certain foods they can implement and all of that. So, and I will give you that. There's a lot of templates, there's a lot of food related information, there's a lot of um, tactical things that are coming your way for you to always challenge you to move forward a little bit more. If that's where you're at, then this is what you'll get. So really, the time that you invest is up to you and where you are at. I hope that makes sense. That was the other question that came in. Let me see. And please let me know if you do have other questions around that. Oh, yes. And the last question that I always get from everybody is the fear that it doesn't work for them. What if it doesn't work for me? Well, it's a really tricky question because the thing is that it will only not work for you if you're not doing the work. So I can't promise you certain outcomes. Like if you come to me and you say, by the end of the 3 months, will I be able to, will I have gotten rid of my intestinal overgrowth? Will I have gotten rid of my candida? Will I have, my liver enzymes down to where they should be? I can promise you that. I cannot promise you that, right? That would be false for me to promise you that. But what I can promise you is that us together, we are doing the work together in order for you to get there. Now, if that happens after 3 months, it might not. But what I can promise you is that you will see shifts. You will see small results along the way that are going to build up on top of each other. You are learning, you're implementing nutrition information, detoxification information, stress management information. You have the support, you have everything that you need in order to reach that goal in your own time. And so far, everyone that I have worked with has seen results. Now, maybe not the results that they would have hoped for, or, really we have to be also realistic, is that results take time. Nothing happens overnight. So it's sometimes it's a slow process, but sometimes people get overnight breakthroughs, right? But it's doing the work. That's what it's all about. And it's about the mindset shift and understanding what you can do, the tools and strategies you will learn to put in place strategically to get you where you want to be. And so far, I have been seeing results with everybody I have been working with. So this is all I can say about what if it doesn't work for you. It will only not work for you if you are not doing the work. I hope that makes sense. So the last one is, I would really love to join, but the price point is too high. And I understand. I understand that it's really oftentimes we are. So here's the way I see it. Money is an exchange of energy. And whatever you believe, me, myself, as a practitioner, the amount of energy I'm putting into working with my clients is what I'm basing my price on. If I were to go lower in price, I wouldn't be giving the amount of energy and commitment I am asking a higher amount of, of price tag. I would be of disservice doing that. So because I know what I give, I know the value of the program. And so that is basically why I I don't want to go lower, because I wouldn't be of service to you anymore. And so that is why it is at the level that it's at. And really what I want you to think about is you are choosing for yourself, where do you put your money against? So it is really more of a question of, what are my priorities at this moment in time? Where do I want to put my energy, right? Like I said, money is an exchange of energy. So are you ready to focus your energy on yourself right now? Are you ready? Are you ready to take that leap of faith, to step out of this fear that you're experiencing around, whether it's your body, your health, financially, whatever, and taking the leap and starting to move in faith forward, or are you not ready? So this is really the question, that you will have to ask yourself. So I hope that answers the questions. I would really love to join, but the price point is too high. I would then ask myself, with that amount of money, how do I want to spend this amount of money instead? Do I want to buy more supplements, or do I want to buy more whole foods, whatever it is? Because this amount of money would be spent on energetically on you and your health. So how are you going to be spending this money if you're not investing in a coaching program? So that is the question. So I hope this was helpful, guys. Again, the winner of the the um the winner of the, what was it? Oh yeah, the women who actually posted an introduction about themselves is Dana. So I will reach out to you, Dana. Thank you so much, everybody, for your wonderful questions that you put forward. I hope you enjoyed this masterclass series. I hope it was super helpful and really helped you to get started on this journey, and got you a little bit of clarity around which areas to look at and how to move forward. If you can, tomorrow is going to be our very, very last day. It's going to be bonus day number 2, bonus session number 2, and it's going to be a closed door Zoom session. It's going to be very intimate. You'll be meeting with me one-on-one. It's going to be nice to see some faces. And I'm going to be going over 5 therapeutic foods that I always talk about in my practice. And then I will open it up to a couple of people who want to have a 10-minute hot seat coaching session with me on the call. So if you have any burning questions, if you want to hop on a call with me, in a small, intimate setting, that is your opportunity tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, so 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 4 p.m. UK time to do that. If you are on the fence of whether you know or not know, if you want to hop on, consider the coaching program that I talked about, I invite you to hop on a call with me and we can discuss it. If it's not a good fit for you, I will let you know. Okay, so no strings attached. Feel free. You can always book yourself into my calendar. I will post the calendar link under the comments. Again, I have 5 slots available until September, before I enroll again. And out of those 5 slots, 1 is already taken. So I have 4 slots available. So let me know. And that was it from my side today. And thank you so much for spending your time with me again today. I hope this was helpful. Have a wonderful rest of the day. And I hope to meet with you tomorrow one-on-one in the group session on Zoom. Have a wonderful day, everybody. I'll see you guys later. Bye.